"Let us raise a glass," the Duke announced, his jeweled ring flashing in the candlelight. "To the crown, and to the sisters who keep peace in our blessed realm." The great hall of Aramor shimmered with gold and laughter. Nobles in velvet lined the tables, their goblets heavy with spiced wine. At the center sat two women whose faces could have been mirrors, except for their eyes. Queen Catherine's gaze was steel, calm, practiced, and dangerous. Princess Elena's eyes carried warmth, still untouched by power. The toast ended, and music filled the silence that followed. Yet beneath the soft notes of the lute, there was a tension like the hum of a drawn sword. Catherine's smile never faltered. "You've returned from the border," she said smoothly, turning to her younger sister. "How did the people receive their beloved princess this time?" "They asked for bread," Elena replied quietly. "And peace. I promised both." The table stilled. The words were simple, but they landed heavy. Everyone knew what she meant. The taxes that built Catherine's palaces had emptied the peasants' bowls. The queen's jaw tightened. "Promises," she said, tapping her cup. "Such a lovely luxury when one has no crown to bear." The courtiers chuckled on cue. Uneasy laughter meant to hide fear. Only one man didn't laugh. Lord Rowan, the foreign ambassador, who had watched enough thrones rise and fall to know what kind of silence was hiding under that laughter. From his seat at the edge, Rowan saw how Elena's fingers trembled slightly as she held her cup. He also saw the queen's nails press into her palm, leaving tiny red crescents. The night went on. Minstrels sang. Servants poured more wine, but every word between the sisters was a blade wrapped in silk. "You look tired, dear sister," Catherine murmured later, her tone sugary. "Perhaps the burden of charity weighs heavier than you thought." "I'm not tired," Elena said softly. "Just disappointed." Catherine's smile faded. "In what?" "In how far a crown can fall from its purpose." The queen stood. The sound of her chair scraping stone echoed through the hall. "Enough. The council meets at dawn." As Catherine swept out, her crimson gown trailed like spilled wine behind her. The doors slammed shut, leaving whispers trembling in the candlelight. Outside the hall, cold wind swept the courtyard. Elena walked alone, cloak drawn tight. Behind her, the palace towers glowed against the moon like silent watchers. From one of those towers, someone watched her back. Catherine, half-shadowed behind the lattice window. Her voice was a whisper only the glass could hear. "She still thinks mercy makes her strong." A knock on the door. Her advisor, Lord Archer, entered and bowed low. "Your Majesty," the nobles murmur. "Some say Elena's return has stirred hope among the commoners." Catherine turned, her profile sharp in the candlelight. "Hope is dangerous." "She means no rebellion, my queen." "She means no crown," Catherine corrected, "but the people will give her one if they think I've forgotten them." Archer hesitated. "Shall I keep watch?" "Watch her," Catherine said, "and if she speaks to the council, silence her." That same night, in the lower courtyard, Elena knelt by a fountain. Her reflection shimmered on the water's surface, young, weary, uncertain. A child's laughter drifted from the stables. She turned to see a stable boy offering his crust of bread to a hungry dog. Elena smiled faintly. "Even the smallest heart remembers kindness," she whispered. Behind her, a shadow moved. Lord Rowan stepped from the archway. "Your Grace," he said softly, "the court listens when you speak. But be careful. Truth has teeth here." Elena looked up at him. "Then perhaps it's time someone bit back." The wind picked up, scattering the petals floating on the fountain's surface. One petal caught on her hand, a drop of red in the moonlight. She looked down. It wasn't a petal, it was blood. From the tower above, a candle went out. Established, the sisters' fragile peace cracks, and blood has already been spilled. The throne room was silent except for the flicker of torches licking the stone walls. Dawn had not yet broken, but Queen Catherine was already seated, a figure of crimson and shadow on her marble throne. Her crown glimmered like a cage of fire. Lord Archer approached, bowing low, his boots echoing across the cold floor. "The council will gather within the hour, Majesty. Shall I summon your sister as well?" Catherine didn't answer immediately. She traced her finger along the arm of the throne, as though thinking of the weight it carried or the blood it had cost. "When my father ruled," she said finally, "no one dared whisper in these halls. Now every servant seems to have a story about the kind princess." Her voice turned brittle. "She steals sympathy the way thieves steal gold, quietly, until the kingdom is empty." Archer's throat tightened. "She speaks kindly, yes, but never against you." Catherine turned her gaze on him. "That's what makes her dangerous." When the council doors opened, sunlight spilled across the floor, a rare intrusion of warmth. Elena entered, draped in a plain blue gown instead of court silks. The nobles turned to look. Some frowned at the simplicity, others found it refreshing after years of glittering excess. "Your Majesty," Elena greeted with a small curtsy. "You sent for me." Catherine gestured to the seat opposite her. "Sit. I believe you had suggestions about governance." Elena sat gracefully, hands folded, calm but alert. "The people are starving," she began softly. "If we lower taxes on grain, if we open the storehouses for the winter, we'll weaken the treasury," interrupted Lord Varick, an old ally of the Queen. Elena turned to him. "A treasury is useless if there's no one left to serve the crown." A low murmur spread through the chamber. Catherine leaned back, watching her sister speak. That steady tone, that quiet conviction, it unsettled her more than open rebellion. Lord Rowan, seated near the end of the table, studied both women. The power in the room shifted like wind between two storms. "You speak like a queen," Catherine said, her words dripping with sweetness. Elena met her gaze. "I speak like your subject." The silence that followed was razor sharp. Then, a faint sound, the scrape of metal. Everyone turned. One of the guards had dropped his halberd. His face was pale. "Forgive me, Majesty." Catherine's voice cut through the tension. "Leave it." But her eyes lingered on the weapon, then on her sister. In that moment, something inside her hardened. That night, after the council dispersed, Lord Rowan found himself alone in the throne room. The torches were lower now, casting the walls in uneven gold. He heard footsteps, soft, deliberate. He turned to see Queen Catherine emerging from the shadows. "Couldn't sleep?" he asked carefully. She smiled without warmth. "The throne is not a bed, Lord Rowan. It never lets one rest." He studied her closely. "Your Majesty, if I may speak freely—" "You may not," she interrupted. Then, after a pause, "But I'll let you anyway." Rowan stepped closer. "You see enemies where there are none. The people love both you and your sister. That is strength, not weakness." Catherine circled him slowly. "Strength? Or a challenge waiting to bloom? You think she wants your crown?" "I think," she said softly. "She doesn't have to want it. All she must do is breathe kindly, and they'll hand it to her." Her hand brushed the throne's arm again. "Do you know why this seat is carved from marble?" she whispered. "Because marble does not burn. Thrones must survive even when hearts do not." Rowan hesitated. "And if the cost of survival is blood?" Catherine turned toward him, her eyes gleaming. "Then the crown will be fed." Moments later, as she left, a voice drifted through the chamber, a whisper, almost human, almost wind. "She will not forgive you this time." Catherine froze, scanning the pillars, but there was no one, only the echo of her own breath. Somewhere, far below in the servants' quarters, Elena awoke from a restless dream. her hand reaching for her throat, as though someone had spoken her name in the dark. The torches in the throne room flickered out one by one, and in the blackness that followed, only a whisper remained. One crown, one sister.